Earlier on, we told you about the earthquake that happened in Morocco, where over 2,000 Moroccans were said to have lost their lives. And now, to bring proper perspective to this particular deplorable situation in the country, I have Benson, Agbro, who is the Disaster Management Director for the Nigeria Red Cross Society. Hello, Benson. I want to believe that you can hear me now.
I can hear you clearly.
Looking at the situation that happened in Morocco and the rescue efforts and what the government has done so far to mitigate the situation right there, would you say that the rescuers and, of course, the government efforts, there's something that could have been done differently to mitigate or reduce the impact on the lives of those who have actually died and those who are still going through the process and the pain of the earthquake that happened in the country?
Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak on this issue. The earthquake in Morocco is of huge humanitarian concern. The Moroccan Red Crescent teams, who have been providing urgent assistance, are now being supported by the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies to reach more persons, especially in the hard-to-reach areas. 1 million Swiss francs have been released to them, and more technical support is pouring in to save more lives, especially from the Red Cross Red Crescent movement. What are those things that could have been done to reduce the impact? Obviously, early warning and early action. In 2018, in Nigeria, NASDAQ, that's the National Space Research and Development Agency, has warned that time that the communities in 3 states and FCT are prone to earth seismic hazard. He has advised against indiscriminate digging of the earth. As a matter of fact, 110,000 boreholes exist in FCT as at that time. This could have increased. Increase in seismometers and sensors for the national network seismographic stations for early warning evacuation. These are some of the things that were recommended by them at that time. For us in the Red Cross movement, we usually establish more Red Cross response team for early action, evacuation, emergency healthcare, and rehabilitation. For us in Nigeria Red Cross, we have the emergency first aid teams, which are located in all states and local government where the Nigeria Red Cross exists. And we exist actually in all the 704 local governments of the Federation.
We are aware that blood donations are said to be ongoing in the country as we speak. But then talking about the screening of the blood before transfusion, how long does it take to screen a blood before transfusion? Knowing fully well that there might be some people that are actually infected with probably parasitical infection or bacterial infection and all that, and also with the fact that the time in between having to reach those who may still be trapped in the flood and those who are in need of medical aid, that is also a cause of concern. So how do we now determine that the screening of the blood is done effectively to ensure that there's no transmission of infection to those who may be needing that help?
In an emergency of this magnitude, safe blood is very important, like you said, and usually it is pulled from all available blood banks in the whole of that area for use. With field hospitals being established as we speak, it should take between 30 minutes to 1 hour to screen and cross-match blood for use. And again, when you ask how long does it take for people to survive, it depends on the immediate enclosure, access to water, and air to breathe, and other environmental factors. The person could have been injured by falling debris or any other things like stones and so on. Are there gases released in the environment? Are there pollution? This might quicken the death of affected people. Again, we say the first hour, which we call the golden hour, is very, very important. Most rescue happen in the first 24 hours. However, miraculous instances aboard where trapped persons survive for days or weeks or more under the rubble, but these are very, very rare. Most people who survive are usually young persons as against the older persons, but older persons have also survived miraculously, like I said earlier.
You actually described the life-threatening situation of those who may be trapped in the flood. But then what is the best way to ensure rescue operation and to see that lives are saved? Because we've seen footages of those who are trapped in buildings and some rescuers who have to stand and climb some areas, some elevated areas in order to save lives. So how best do we save lives to ensure that both the rescuers and of course those who are in that situation, their lives are saved?
Okay, just for you to know, emergency rescue operations, as huge as these, are multi-sectoral teams work, involving all emergency stakeholders. At the initial time, it looks like an all-comers affair, but after a while, when train response teams arrive, everyone knows their role and not everyone is permitted to climb, like you described, especially now that science and technology plays a vital role in emergency rescue. Especially sensors, sniffer dogs, and so are employed to seek out signs of lives within the rubble.
Of course, we know that with earthquake comes flood, and so many lives are at a begging end in situations like that. But then we appreciate the effort of the Nigerian Red Cross in saving the lives, and of course the rescuers who are doing their bit to see that as many people can be saved in the country. Thank you so much, Benson, for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.